Great Expectations tells the story of Philip Pirrip, known as Pip, an orphan raised by his harsh sister, Mrs. Joe, and her kind husband, Joe Gargery, a blacksmith. Set in 19th-century England, the novel explores themes of ambition, love, social class, and personal growth. The story begins when young Pip encounters an escaped convict, Magwitch, in the marshes. Magwitch forces Pip to steal food and a file to help him. Despite Pip's fear, he aids the convict, who is later recaptured but protects Pip by claiming he stole the items himself. Pip's life changes dramatically when he is invited to the home of Miss Havisham, a wealthy woman who was abandoned on her wedding day and has since lived in a state of despair. Her house, Satis House, is a symbol of decay and stagnation. The clocks in the house are all stopped at 20 minutes to 9, the moment she learned of her betrayal. The once grand home is filled with cobwebs, dust, and the remnants of her wedding feast, now rotting and covered in insects. Miss Havisham herself wears her faded and tattered wedding dress, a haunting reminder of her heartbreak. She has dedicated her life to raising her adopted daughter, Estella, to be a tool of vengeance against men, teaching her to be cold and unfeeling. Estella is beautiful, graceful, and proud, but she has been trained by Miss Havisham to break the hearts of men. From the moment Pip meets her, he is captivated by her beauty and poise, despite her cruelty and disdain for him. Estella mocks Pip's coarse manners and low social standing, but her aloofness only deepens his infatuation. Pip dreams of becoming a gentleman, believing that wealth and education will make him worthy of Estella's love. However, Estella views Pip with indifference, as she has been raised to suppress her emotions and manipulate others. As Pip grows older, he apprentices as a blacksmith under Joe, but he becomes increasingly dissatisfied with his humble origins. His fortunes change when Mr. Jaggers, a lawyer, informs him that he has inherited a large sum of money from an anonymous benefactor. Pip assumes that Miss Havisham is his benefactor, grooming him to marry Estella. He moves to London to begin his education as a gentleman, leaving behind Joe and Biddy, a kind-hearted friend who secretly loves him. In London, Pip befriends Herbert Pocket, who becomes his close companion and helps him navigate his new social life. However, Pip's transformation into a gentleman causes him to grow distant from his roots and the people who genuinely care for him. Pip's world is turned upside down when he learns that his true benefactor is not Miss Havisham but Magwitch, the convict he helped as a child. Magwitch had made a fortune in Australia and risked his life to return to England to see Pip, whom he regards as a son. This revelation shatters Pip's illusions about his social aspirations and his connection to Estella. Initially horrified, Pip eventually grows to admire Magwitch's determination and loyalty. He vows to help Magwitch escape capture, even at great personal risk. Meanwhile, Estella marries Bentley Drummle, a cruel and brutish man, despite Pip's warnings about Drummel's character. Her marriage is unhappy and abusive, further highlighting the tragic consequences of Miss Havisham's manipulations. Miss Havisham, overcome with guilt for the harm she has caused Pip and Estella, begs Pip for forgiveness. In a tragic turn, her wedding dress catches fire, and although Pip saves her, she later succumbs to her injuries. Pip and Herbert devise a plan to help Magwitch flee the country, but their efforts fail. Magwitch is captured and gravely injured during a struggle with the authorities. Before his death in prison, Pip reveals that Estella is Magwitch's daughter, giving the convict a sense of peace and fulfillment. Pip's fortunes decline as he loses his inheritance and falls into debt. He becomes ill, but Joe, demonstrating his enduring kindness and loyalty, nurses him back to health. Pip reconciles with Joe and Biddy, who marry and start a family. Humbled by his experiences, Pip abandons his ambitions of wealth and status, choosing a simpler and more honorable life. In the novel's ending, Pip meets Estella years later. She has been softened by her suffering and regrets the pain she caused. Ending hints at the possibility of a future together. Their reunion reflects the novel's themes of forgiveness, redemption, and the enduring power of love. Great Expectations critiques the rigid social class structure of Victorian England and examines the dangers of misplaced ambitions and the true meaning of gentility. It teaches students about resilience, humility, and the importance of moral integrity. The novel remains a timeless classic, offering valuable lessons and insights for readers.